Hi guys, and welcome to Strength the Universe. Reg Park was a highly successful bodybuilder, strongman, businessman and actor, whose blueprint was the route for Arnold's success. But how strong was he? Roy Reg Park was born on the 7th of June 1928 in Leeds, England. At school he was a gifted footballer and precocious athlete. At 16 he ran the 100-yard dash in 10.3 seconds, recorded a long jump of 21 feet 10 inches and was selected for the Leeds United reserve team. Upon leaving school, Reg stood 6 feet tall and weighed 160 pounds. It was while attending Leeds outdoor swimming pool that Reg would meet and started talking to the local bodybuilder David Cohen, who invited Reg to start training with him, utilising barbells, dumbbells and chin-ups. Despite the basic equipment and knowledge, Reg had been making outstanding progress, such that he entered the 1946 Mr. Britain bodybuilding competition, where he weighed in at 180 pounds and finished in 4th place. Shortly thereafter, Reg entered national service, initially posted to Naryn Barracks, where he quickly gained an exceptional reputation for his physique and strength, that saw him drafted as a physical training instructor to Singapore. Following his discharge from the British Army in 1948, Reg attended the inaugural NABBA Mr. Universe contest in London, where he witnessed John Grimmick beat Steve Reeves. The contest inspired Reg's dreams of becoming a champion bodybuilder. After just 8 months of serious training, in May 1949, Reg competed at the Mr. North East Britain, where at 6 foot 1 inches tall and weighing 205 pounds, he easily won the competition. Reg would compete again just 5 months later. Having packed on an additional 9 pounds of mass, he won the title of Mr. Britain. Following his victory, his parents gifted him a 6-month trip to the United States, where he became friends with Joe Weider, trained with the best bodybuilders of that time, and started to make regular appearances in Weider's magazines. After returning to England in May 1950, Park competed at and was crowned Mr. Europe. That same night he finished in a controversial 2nd place in the amateur Mr. Universe, just a single point behind winner Steve Reeves. In September, Reg returned to the United States, where he trained at Abe Goldberg's gym in New York, in preparation to compete at America's Best Developed Man. Park won the title and in doing so beat many famous bodybuilders of the time. Following his prestigious victory, Park gave exhibitions in Montreal, Toronto and Los Angeles. During that time, Joe Weider and Reg came to an agreement for him and his father to become primary distributors for Weider products in the UK. Reg returned to the United Kingdom in January 1951. From then until the Mr. Universe contest he trained hard and heavy, using 210 pounds on the press behind the neck, 140 pound dumbbells for the flat and incline press, and squats with 320 pounds for multiple sets of 20 reps. All of Park's dedication resulted in him stepping on stage at 225 pounds, with better symmetry and development than ever before, to easily win the amateur Mr. Universe at just 23 years old. In fact, looking at the winners of the competition over the preceding years, had Reg immediately competed as a professional, he likely would have won many consecutive titles. Shortly after his victory, Reg started to publish a bodybuilding magazine called the Reg Park Journal that would be in publication from 1952 until 1959. In the same year of the release of his magazine, Reg started to date Marion. Shortly thereafter the couple would marry and subsequently become parents to Jeunesse and later John, both of whom would become highly successful in their own right. Reg wouldn't compete again for several years. He did, however, continue to train. Throughout that period he increased his body weight to 250 pounds and made the most of his success by giving bodybuilding exhibitions, at which he would give demonstrations of his incredible strength. At an exhibition on the 8th of July 1954, Reg became only the second person in history to bench press 500 pounds, and did so just 1 year after the feat had first been achieved by Canadian strongman Doug Hepburn. During that same period, Reg could squat 605 pounds for 2 reps, at a time when the world record had increased from 600 pounds in December 1951 to 715 pounds by Paul Anderson in May 1953. Topping out the big three is a deadlift, for which Reg is reported to have pulled 700 pounds at a time when the world record stood at 725 by Bob Peoples, whose record would stand until 1961. Finally, at an exhibition in 1956, Reg achieved a standing press behind the neck of 300 pounds. Those lifts during that era were all within shouting distance of the world record, but more on Reg Park's best lifts later in the video. In 1957, Reg reportedly lifted the front end of a London taxi. However, having carefully considered the two images, the lift appears to have been staged or a publicity stunt, but let me know your opinion in the comments below. By 1958, Reg and his family had decided to move to South Africa and open a gym. Realising it was 7 years since his last competition, he concluded that another win of the Mr. Universe would again bring him to global fame and ensure the success of his new venture. With a relatively short time to prepare for the competition, Reg entered and won the 1958 NABRA Professional Mr. Universe, and in doing so became the first person to twice win the competition. Around this time, Steve Reeves had starred in 2 Italian sword and sandal pictures featuring him as Hercules. Following the success of these movies, and Park's fame from winning the Mr. Universe, Reg was offered an attractive deal to star in Hercules Conquers Atlantis. Reg would go on to star in a further 4 sword and sandal movies, predominantly based on Hercules, with his final picture being released in 1965. That same year, Reg again competed at and won the Professional Mr. Universe, to become the first person to win the competition 3 times. Apart from the big 3 lifts I've already covered in the video, between 1953 and 1965, Reg was recorded as performing 200 pound strict curls and 1,000 pound calf raises. He could use 185 pound dumbbells with a flat and incline press for sets of 5 reps. He achieved a standing press with a pair of dumbbells weighing 140 pounds each, and that was the second heaviest, only bettered by Doug Hepburn. Finally, he was able to perform a lay-in tricep extension with 300 pounds for 3 reps, and that equals the weight used by Craig Monsoon some 30 years later. During the early to mid-1960s, an Austrian teenager was being heavily inspired by Reg Park's appearances in bodybuilding magazines and the Hercules movies. That boy was, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who had moved to the UK around 1966, where he lived and was trained by Wag Bennett, who was a major player in the UK bodybuilding scene at that time. Shortly afterwards, Arnold would meet his hero at one of Wag's bodybuilding exhibitions. Following this meeting, Reg invited Arnold to stay with him in South Africa and became his lifelong friend and mentor.
I set my goal that I want to copy Reg Park. I want to follow his training method, his life philosophy, get into movies.
In 1970, now aged 42 years old, Reg jumped into the Mr. Universe, where he competed against Dave Draper and Arnold. Despite being past his best and 20 years older than his rival, Reg alleged finished in second place, just half a point behind his prodigy. Reg again competed at the competition the following year, where he finished in third place behind winner Bill Powell and runner-up Sergio Oliva. He would compete at the Mr. Universe for the final time in 1973, where he finished runner-up to Boya Ko. Reg Park's physique, contest results and strength were incredible. But when we consider the controversial claim that Reg never used steroids, his success in bodybuilding and strength were extraordinary.
You finished your competitive career just as steroids were beginning to be involved in the sport of bodybuilding. Would you have taken them?
I would never have used them.
What about the steroid scene as it is today?
I think it's very sad because it's not only a question of the athletes, bodybuilders, track athletes using it, but now I understand that school kids are taking it, and I think this is very sad and very tragic, and I'm delighted that here in America that the powers that be put steroids on the same level as cocaine and heroin.
While I was highly sceptical of this claim, consider Reg Park's physical progression from 1946 through to 1965. The availability of steroids during that time, and maybe most telling, Reg's physical appearance when compared to known enhanced athletes of that era, including Bill Pell, Dave Draper and Arnold. Finally, the excellent genetics of his son John, who became an Olympic swimmer. I do believe that Reg Park may have been natural, but please feel free to let me know your opinion in the comments below. Over the preceding years, Reg continued to train clients, was featured in numerous bodybuilding magazines, and in 1999 was inducted into the IFBB Hall of Fame. In early 2007, Reg appeared on stage for the final time to be awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by his protege.
Who should we give it this year? And I said, what about an unbelievable guy who has been my hero ever since the first day of bodybuilding? I wouldn't have anything if this man here wouldn't have inspired me the way he did. So here was all those things that I immediately admired. Being a bodybuilding champion, going into the movies, and becoming a successful businessman. On top of that, I watched his family. This was the most loving family that I've ever seen in my life. That's exactly what I want to mold myself after. I want to become another Reg Park.
Alas, Reg received this award just a couple of weeks after he was diagnosed with a metastatic melanoma that he would sadly pass away from just 7 months later at the age of 79. That's it for the video, but thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please help to support my channel by hitting like, sharing the video, leaving a comment and subscribing for more. Thank you.